Hey everybody, this is Blue. Been a while, but I found an interesting article on Yahoo News about 10 minutes ago, and I just have to make a video about it. And so I think this is very important because, we talk about how there's some animosity between religions, and here we're seeing how the animosity is real, how things work out, how the laws in society allow certain groups to basically get away with murder. And so let's just start going into it. Alright, so how an after-school Satan club is shaking everything up. Well, apparently, in this one school in Chimney Rock, Cordova, Tennessee, which is not too far away from Memphis, they're passing out these little papers, talking to kids about going to this after-school Satan club. The club was organized by the Satanic Temple, a group that has gained widespread media attention and infuriated conservative Christian groups in recent years by sponsoring similar school clubs in other school districts, filing challenges to state abortion limits in Indiana and Texas, and placing pentagrams and other symbols alongside Christmas displays at state houses. And I thought that was a pretty good history. They are basically looking out for the legal well-being of others. The Satanic Temple was founded in 2013 by two men who call themselves Lucien Graves and Malcolm Jarrett, both pseudonyms. Based in Salem, Massachusetts, famous of the 17th century witch trials, it calls itself a non-theistic religion and engages in activism to defend pluralism, secularism, and religious rights according to its website. And that's what it does. That's a very honest description of it. Graves, whose name is Doug Metzer, said the temple does not believe in Satan as described in the Bible, but considers it to be a concept, to be a mythological framework that engages people to question authority and follow the best available evidence. And this is true. There are basically two types of Satanists out there. We do have the Satanists, like from this group, where they don't actually believe in Satan, but they use the concept of Satan as a focal point to deliver a message. And then there are Satanists that believe that Satan is real. They believe in God, Jesus, and Satan. It's just they honor Satan more. Okay? And this part is interesting. A display draws anger and vandalism in the Iowa Capitol. I only live 50 miles away from Des Moines. And I gotta say this before we continue on. They have done a lot of hush work on this. They don't want this to get out because it makes Christianity look bad. Okay, so to that end, it displayed a statue in the Iowa Capitol this month that featured a mirrored ram's head symbolizing the occult's figure Baphomet. Next to it was a sign that read, "This display is not owned, maintained, promoted, supported by, or associated with the state of Iowa." Because they are showing that this is independent, that they have the right to do this. If all the other churches can do it, so can they. Governor Kim Reynolds, who is a half-wit, a Republican, called the display absolutely objectionable. because it doesn't follow her beliefs. It's objectionable. So since it doesn't support Christianity, it's bad, it's wrong, and they got to get rid of it. Encourage Iowans to pray and reassure them that the nativity scene, the true reason for the season, would also be displayed. It's not the reason for the season. Season, winter, is because of actual tilt. During the appearance on the campaign trail in Iowa on Tuesday, Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida blamed his Republican rival Donald Trump for giving the temple a legal leg to stand on. Sorry. Because the IRS granted tax-exempt status as a religious organization in 2019 when Trump was president. Now you see, that is utter fucking bullshit, because Trump doesn't have any power to do that. This is strictly by the IRS. And there are a lot of organizations that have 501c3 tax-exempt status. I can get it if I wanted to. There are many pagan groups that have it. And there are some Christian groups that have it that should not have it, because they run a lot of businesses under the church's name, and thus they make a profit, and thus are not tax exempt. My review would be that's not a religion that is the founding fathers were trying to create, Satanist said on CNN. The founding fathers of the United States were never trying to build a religion. They were trying to build a nation. And they tried to set up the laws, the Constitution, and that, so that everybody can practice their religions without all the hostility that they were seeing in Europe. So DeSantis is a fucking moron. In fact, the First Amendment of the Constitution says Congress shall not make no law representing an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Okay, there it is. Okay, the founding fathers were not trying to create a religion. And just because somebody's sets of beliefs does not agree with yours doesn't mean that you could say that, well, that's not a religion. If you want people to respect your beliefs, you also have to show some equal respect, or give equal footing to their beliefs. If they can't, you shouldn't. Okay? That's my view. That doesn't mean everyone appreciates the Satanic Temple's idea of a holiday decoration. On Thursday, somebody knocked the ram's head off the statue in the Iowa Capitol. The Iowa State Patrol said that Michael Cassidy, 35, of Lauderdale, Mississippi, has been charged with criminal mischief in the matter. So here we go. This is where we get so much animosity between religions, because generally pagans are very peaceful. They're just wanting to live in harmony. But the Christians, they have this concept where their religion is the only valid religion, and thus they will going to do everything they can to convert others. And they will do whatever they feel is necessary beyond law to create their goal. And so they are going to go after other people's religion. So the conservative website, the Republican Sentinel, began raising money for his defense. Okay, now this guy has only been charged with, but if he is guilty of a crime, we have Christian religious organizations that are going to pay for his legal defense. We couldn't break it down, but he did, and for that we're going to back him up. This shows how bad the Christian religions can be. But I gotta say this we want full picture. Christianity is just one of the Abrahamic religions, and it's all three Abrahamic religions, the Jewish beliefs and the Islamic beliefs, that have this concept where the only way that things can be is that they have to convert people to their belief. In their goals, this should be a Christian planet. To the Muslims, this should be an Islamic planet. To the Jews, this should be a Jewish planet. And so this is where we have a lot of problems. Also, because a lot of Christians think that because this should be a Christian planet, everybody who is not Christian is below them, that they're second rate. Again, this is what causes a lot of animosity between religions. And the temple justifies its actions on First Amendment grounds. Speaking to the New York Times before the statue was destroyed, Gregg said the temple was not exploiting some unfortunate loophole in the Constitution by placing a statue of Baphomet in the Capitol. This is what religious liberty is, he said. This is what freedom of expression looks like. It does not have to be painful if we understand its value. We should look at this with some pride. Again, every religion should have the same basic rights to express itself as long as it's not harming other people. Okay? But a lot of these Abrahamic groups can't handle that. Alright. What is After School Satan Club? The temple says it started the clubs in 2016 to provide an alternative to other after-school religious clubs, particularly the Good News Club, a Christian missionary program. Students play puzzles and games and do science projects, nature activities, and community service projects. The temple says there are 4 active after-school Satan clubs in the country, in California, Ohio, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania, where the temple recently reached a $200,000 settlement with the Silicon Valley School District. The temple had accused the district of blocking it from using a middle school where a Good News Club also met. So here we go. We have a lot of Christians in local positions of power, and they are going to exploit and break the law to promote their religious beliefs, their Christian beliefs, and then in the same breath deny other religions. Okay? They are not giving people freedom of religion. Again, more animosity for the fire. The Supreme Court, in a 2001 case pitting the Good News Club against a school district in New York State, ruled the public schools must open their doors to after-school religious activities on the same basis as any other after-school activity the school policy permits. This ruling also opened the door, metaphorically, to Satan. Satanic Temple says it starts clubs only in places where parents have requested one. It claims that the parents of 13 children at Chimney Rock Elementary had signed permission slips for the first after-school Satan Club meeting there on January 10th. Awesome. The Times are unable to find a parent who signed a slip who was willing to be identified on the record. And I can understand that this is pretty close, to the Bible Belt. And so the last thing people want is a whole bunch of Christians protesting their houses. We have history, unfortunately, where Christian groups will burn down the house. They will sever power lines and all that. The club was allowed to rent space from the school, which has students from pre-kindergarten to 5th grade. In an email to parents, school officials said the club has the same legal rights to use the facilities after school hours as any other nonprofit. And that's very important. The interim superintendent of the Memphis-Shelley County Schools, Tony Williams, said at a news conference with Christian pastors Wednesday that she was duty-bound to uphold board policy, state laws, and the Constitution. But let's not be fooled, she said. Let's not be fooled by what we have seen in the past 24 hours, which is an agenda initiated to ensure we cancel all faith-based organizations that partner with our school district. And this, I think, is funny. There are many cases where schools, if they are forced to allow other religions to do some of the same activities, they will cancel the Christian activities rather than to allow other religions in. Because there are times where there has been demands of like a satanic prayer or another religion to pray at a school opening, start the day, and it was determined that by all the people of these communities, they would rather have no religious services first thing in the morning than to allow another religion one moment of representation. Althea Green, chair of the Shelby County School Board, encouraged people to pray and be vocal. She describes herself as a bishop and pastor of Real Life Ministries. Keyword there was be vocal. So she wants people to be angry and to possibly protest. She is instigating hostilities. This is why, again, so much we have animosity. Pagan Coffee Talk, they did a video recently and they're talking about animosity between religions. Here it is. And, it's not the Satanists in this action that caused the hostilities. So, a local pastor, William Adkins, said it was crucial not to allow any entity called the Satanic Temple to have private time with our children. But he acknowledged that he was not sure how to bar the group without violating the Constitution. So the only thing that is protecting the satanic group is the Constitution. These Christians are willing to try to ban other people's religious rights because it doesn't support theirs. This is, in fact, what I call Satan personified, he said. They put us in a trick bag, and we almost can't get out of it, using the Constitution against us. Well, Jesus Christ, you pieces of crap. You know what? It's called freedom of religion. Let's take away the Constitution and let's see if we can vote your religion out of it, because we can go piece by piece and take down other Christian religions, because we could say there's those Christian groups that do the snake worship. We can say that they're causing harm, self-harm and harm to others, and thus they should be blocked and then deny the practice. I bet those Christian groups wouldn't like that. There's more articles. I love it. After school Satan groups and pagan statues have popped up across the nation, what's going on? And they're going to go on and on about this. And, it is, again, they're talking more about the display. But there is actual picture display. It's nothing major, but something so small. This is probably the size of a person, and people are throwing a shit fit over it. It's amazing how they could say that us pagans, Satanists, and all that, we're so angry, and that they're the religion of love and peace. But this is the crap that they do. They want to ban us. They want to destroy our symbolism. They are willing to actively campaign against us, but they're the peaceful ones. And so this has just got to end. So I think this is a good, perspective on why there is animosity. Why there are so many groups out there that actively go after us. Because these religions don't seem to care about anybody but themselves. They don't want to live in harmony. They want to dominate. And, and I have said this before, if you look at the history of the Abrahamic religions, Christianity, without a shadow of a doubt, is the most bloodiest religion in the world. So many people have died at the hands of Christianity. Islam is not that far behind. So, those are the two main religions. But look at the Jewish beliefs. You read the Bible, the Old Testament, and you are going to see a lot of points where they were going to slaughter people. They have committed genocide in the Old Testament. And current day, look what's going on in the Gaza Strip. You have the Israelis versus the Palestinians, Islam against Jewish religions. And thousands of innocent people have died, in the recent years. And it's only going to continue until it's just going to continue, because I don't know what will ever happen to stop it unless one of them is successful. And, I disagree with all this crap. I don't want to get political, but I'm going to. With the current situation, there was a very uneasy pseudo-peace between Israel and the Gaza Strip. Hamas attacked and initiated this new round of hostilities. And while I think both sides are guilty, because they have been throwing stones at each other. We have Israeli pilgrims that are going into areas that they were not supposed to and build houses, and then say that because they're Israelis, they can do this, they can do that. Both sides have been pressing each other's buttons, and this is wrong. They don't want peace. Neither side wants peace. But this is, back to the main story. It is funny how a small group of people, because we're not talking about a large group that wants to do an after-school activity based on a different religion, and all of a sudden it's like the whole nation is against it. 40 people versus millions of people, and the Christians are going to say how they are punished, how they are persecuted. They love to play the victim card, and I'm tired of it. I try to live in peace, but you cannot forgive, you cannot forget. You always have to keep your eyes open, because there's just so many Christians out there that there's going to be some random group that could do something, and there you're screwed. So I think I've ranted on long enough. There are a lot of good people out there. There are Christians out there that want to live in peace. They try to have some harmony to the world. And you can believe whatever you want to believe, as long as you are not forcing your beliefs on others or hurting other people's and yourself. Okay? So if you want to be a Christian, but you are able to show respect for other beliefs, good job. But it does not take much for a lot of these Christians to get on the bandwagon and have a mini crusade, or for the Muslims, a mini jihad, and come after us. So the animosity, I don't think will ever stop. I gotta say this right. I wish we did not have to live quietly and in the shadows at times. I think it's wrong. But, we have no choice with the way these Abrahamic religions work. Like in the city that I live in, the city park has all these Christmas decorations up. They call it holiday lights, but there's like 6 I'd say probably around 7 different Christian churches that have displays up with nativity scenes. They're talking about Christ and all that. And, the city is paying for the lights. I believe that technically I could go there and tell them to turn off the lights, because since this is a city park and not a private park, tax dollars are being used to light up Christian religious displays. And so but again, I'm trying to live in peace, so I'm not going to go and, for up until, Christmas Day, go and turn them off, because all it's going to do is make things harder for everybody. There are other pagans that live in my city, and, there are other pagans and other belief systems, in my county. And, all it takes is one bad apple, and we can make things so much worse for everybody. So, anyway, I think I ranted enough. So everybody, please take care. Be at peace.